This is the finished product. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I did my makeup then versus now. So, this should be quite interesting because when I first started getting into makeup, there's just no words to really describe the way how I did my makeup. I'm just going to show you guys some pictures of how I did my makeup back then. And that was in high school, and let me tell you guys, I always used to wonder why guys never really liked me in high school, but then I looked like that. I had my iconic small black eyebrows, my eyeshadow that was never blended properly. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I did my makeup back in high school versus now. And of course, we're gonna be starting off with back then because that's the most interesting part. I actually did get this video recommendation from one of you guys, so if you guys gave me that recommendation, really appreciate it. Not gonna lie, I'm a little scared. I've purposely tried to just completely ignore my sophomore year of high school. It was a bad time, and I was just looking quite ratchet going to school every day, thinking I was like so hot, so great, but no, I literally was not. I honestly didn't really do anything too crazy with my looks, but the thing that really just took the crown were my eyebrows. And I had two eyebrow phases. I had one where it was just like a black, small little eyebrow, or I also had a dark brown, thick eyebrow. Can't really decide which eyebrow I want to do today, so I think we're gonna go with the small black eyebrow. And I'm trying to remember how I used to do my makeup routine back then, but I do remember I used to start off with the Professional primer. I never really knew why I did this because I never used foundation anyways, and I have not used this primer literally since like 2017. I honestly do not like this primer. It's just, it dries out my skin so much, but I'm doing this side of my face as how I did back then, and this side of my face as of right now. But yeah, I didn't really have a skincare routine, but I just used to put so much of this on, not really knowing what it would do, to be honest, but I mean, that's what I did. After that, I would go in with my Tarte Shape Tape. I've used this since like 2017, 2018 at the latest, so it's most definitely expired. My skin is gonna hate me after this, but I wanted to keep onto these products so I could film this video. And I would just go in and just put it under my eyes. Call it a day. And it never really was my shade. Back then, my skin tone was a little more tan, and I would go in with a dry beauty blender and only blend it under my eyes. And my skin always used to look so dry. Oh my god, this looks so bad already. And then I would go in with the Maybelline Fit Me Press Powder. And this was actually more of my shade than the concealer, but I would just dip into this and just put it all over my face, like everywhere. Even though my skin already feels very set, I would just go in and put more powder on it. I really thought like I ate that up back then. I'm not gonna lie. I genuinely thought I was just doing something so incredible that like no one else was doing. And then after, I would go in with the e.l.f. wax pen. I don't really know the exact name for this, but I think I've bought this like 5 times. And what I used to do, I used to go in on my eyebrows and just put so much of this in it. I would literally drench my whole eyebrow with this wax. And I would always brush it out too. I would go in with my Modern Renaissance palette. I used to be obsessed with this. And then I would use the shade right here. I put so much of this on that it looked like my eyebrows were black, but I think I always did use a very, very dark brown shade. And then I would always grab an angled brush. I would just, paint them in. Yeah, okay, see how it looks black? I did used to spend literally so long trying to get my eyebrows right. And then one thing I did do though is I always used to carve out my brow. I don't really know what I was doing with this, but I would use the Tarte Shape Tape and I would just put a little bit on my hand, carve underneath my brow, and then I would always get some of the concealer mixed with the brows, but like I didn't care. Like I just thought I was like slaying the day, you know? And that was my iconic brow. And as I was doing my makeup, I would always just go back in with this wax pen and just press in a lot more. So my eyebrows are just stuck to my face. And then I don't really remember, I don't think I did use a lot of blush, but sometimes I would. And it would always be just a random Benefit blush of some sort. I never really did a lot. I would just kind of press in and just kind of go like this. And I would just put the faintest amount of blush to where you can't even see it. Then I used to go back in with a Modern Renaissance palette. I used to have my signature eyeshadow look, and I think, yeah, I used to use this brush from the Naked 3 palette, and I would dip in this like transition shade. Never used to tap off the brush. I would just go all in and just very badly wipe this on. You can tell which shades I've used the most because of how much like I've dipped into it. I used to go in with like the pink and red shades. Don't really know what I was thinking there, but I dipped in to this shade right here, kind of like a muted lilac almost, and just go over it like this. And I would use the same brush to buff it out. Yeah, this is exactly how I used to do it. It would be so unblended and so messy looking, but like still, I did not care. And then I used to use this red shade right here, and I would just put that on the outer corner. And my mom always used to tell me to buff out my eyeshadow, but I never listened to her. And honestly, I really wish that I did back then. I went in with this shade. As you guys can tell, this was one of my most used shades. And I used to use my finger, dip in, and put the craziest glitter look right here. And then this used to be my eye look. This is how I used to go to school. As my last step, I would always go in with the Benefit Bad Gal Bang. It's crazy because I still really love this mascara so much. I don't really remember what other mascaras I used to use, but I just remember this being like engraved in my head. And I would just go straight in. Did not curl my lashes, none of that. And it always used to look so clumpy. Yeah, wow. That's crazy how I can still get myself to look like that. I did occasionally do an eyeliner wing though. Honestly though, one thing I was always good at was eyeliner. The eyelashes were always clumping, always. And I just never decided to blend my eyeshadow up to here. So you could always just, it would always be like this. The Too Faced lip injection. It was my go-to. What can I say? I think it was a lot of people's go-tos as well. Moving on to how I do my makeup now. You guys already know at this point how I do my makeup now, but we're just gonna go into it and we're just gonna do something very minimal. And then I always go in with my e.l.f. primer. I'm just gonna put a little bit on because I kind of just don't want to waste all my products because there's no way I'm just gonna keep this whole makeup routine on right now. This side of my lips hurt so bad because of the Too Faced lip injection. I always forget how powerful it is, even though it's probably expired. Does not seem like it to me, honestly. Then after my face is primed, I go in with my Rare Beauty tinted moisturizer. I'm so obsessed with this, you guys. This has just been my new favorite product, and I feel so bad like wasting this right now because I hate wasting my makeup products. This is kind of a newer step for me, but I'll go in first with my finger and I'll kind of just like spread it out with that. And then I'll always go in with my beauty blender and kind of just like tap it out. I do always wet my beauty blender, but like I'm too lazy to go to the bathroom right now and wet it. And it just adds such a pretty natural base for the skin. And then after this, I'll go in with my Say Sun Melt Bronzer. You guys already know at this point that this is just one of my favorites. Go in and I'll just lightly bronze up my face because I don't like anything too crazy with the bronzer, but I also just like a subtle kind of sun-kissed natural glow. Natural bronze look. And I don't really know why. Back then, I never really used to bronze. When I first started bronzing, I would always use the Physicians Formula or the Hoola bronzer. And then next up, I'll go in with blush. I use the Milani blush most of the time. I actually always kind of switch between blushes. It kind of just depends on the mood I'm in that day. And I'll kind of wipe this on very lazily, to be honest. I don't really try to be too precise with this because I'm still going to be putting concealer on. And this blush is just so pigmented. And you guys just trust the process, okay? I know this looks very crazy right now, but... And now I have a little bit of color. We're gonna go ahead and take it away a little bit. And one of my favorites recently has been the Hourglass Concealer. I only have the mini size because I only ever get the mini size before trying a product because why am I about to spend the money on a big size when I can just get the mini size and see if I like it? But I'll just go in with this and I'll be more precise with it, unlike how I used to do back then. I'll put a little bit in the corner and then a little bit right here to kind of lift the face a bit. Next, I'll grab my Makeup by Mario brush, the F1 brush and then I'll use this little side right here. And it will kind of gradually get rid of the blush. So I'll just grab that same beauty blender and kind of diffuse it out a little bit. This is how the base is looking on this side. So much better. So much better. I will set my face with my Charlotte Tilbury pressed powder or the Huda Beauty one. It kind of just depends on the day, to be honest. But for this video, I'm gonna just go in with the Charlotte Tilbury because it's a lot cleaner. And then I'm just gonna press underneath my eyes, make sure I get all of the creases out. And I'll always set right here on my forehead because I find that in between my eyebrows, it gets a lot more oily looking, which I'm not a fan of. And then since we've kind of erased the blush a little bit, I'll go back in with my NARS blush in Orgasm X. It is kind of a different shade than the Milani one, but I just kind of like having a cream blush base before putting on powdered blush. I don't rub my products in anymore. I always tap them in just to prevent anything from moving around. Okay, so then after that, my skin looks a lot nicer. But next up, I'll use a highlighter. Nothing too obnoxious, but I'll use the Rare Beauty one sometimes, or the Fenty Beauty, or the Benefit Cookie. It kind of just depends on the day. And I'll use a fan brush. I still use these, but I'll tap very lightly just onto my cheek right here. With a less dense fan brush, I'll use that just to kind of blend it out. So it's something very, very natural looking, but it still has like a little glow and stuff added to it, which is what I really like. But next, we're gonna go ahead and move on to eyes. For brows, I don't do anything like this anymore, as you guys know, but recently I've been using the NYX Brow Glue, and I'll very, very lightly brush into the end of my brows first. And yeah, my eyebrows look a lot more soft and just natural looking, which is how I like to keep them. But we are almost done here. I'm gonna go ahead and do my lashes, and I always curl my lashes. I cannot do mascara without curling my lashes. And then recently I've been using the Tartelette tubing mascara. I absolutely love this mascara. See the difference? That is progress, you guys. And recently I've been going a lot lighter with my mascara. I don't know, I feel like it just looks a lot more clean, but we are almost done here. I will go in with a lip gloss of some sort. I'm gonna use the Fenty Beauty Heat. Something that has kind of stayed in my makeup routine is a wing. I don't do my wing as thick and crazy as this. I actually don't even go on my lash line and fill it in. I just do a very subtle wing. And I always like to keep it light. I use a brow tint pen for this. This is the NYX Lift and Snatch. But yeah, that is how I did my makeup then versus now. But honestly, I would say there's quite a lot of difference, especially in the eye region right here. But this is the finished product. This is something that has more products on, but it looks more natural, whereas this kind of just looks like a mess. And like I said, I went to school like this, and it still haunts me. I'm just gonna go ahead and take off my headband. My hair is always very flat after using it. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up, and of course, subscribe to my channel. Also, make sure you guys let me know in the comments down below any other video ideas you guys have for me, because this video is a lot more different to videos I typically film, and I feel like videos like this are just super fun. So if you guys have any more fun videos like this, just go ahead and let me know down below. But I love you all so, so much. I hope that you all have an amazing rest of your day, and I hope to see you guys all in my next video. Bye!